Hello, everyone. Here, as all of you are coming in, I am going to make sure that the Q&A is enabled here. We'll give everyone a couple minutes to trickle in here, and we'll get started. Hello, Christopher. You're from Chicago. I'm in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Glad to have you here. All right. We will give about 30 more seconds and we'll get started here today. So glad to have all of you here. Hello, Adriana. All right. Looks like we have a nice handful of all of you guys. Some more might trickle in here as we get started, but I want to be mindful of our time here together. So let me first introduce myself. I'm Vanessa Dodds. I'm a 21-year multi-secular transformation executive, leading organization operations, change management, and in strategy initiatives across corporate, small business, government, and nonprofit sectors. I help companies to simplify complexities and fix their systems that are really holding them back from saving and making money. I designed the Fix the System First Leadership That Works in the Future Work framework, which we're going to be talking through here today, and how really your expertise and leadership can align to this. But what it really does is it equips not only businesses, leaders for a systems first approach to navigate through the future of work. It emphasizes repairing the foundation first, such as operational infrastructure, governance, trust, workforce systems, and data, before layering on that AI, culture, and growth. The fundamental purpose is to ensure that the strategies are durable, adaptable, and capable of sustaining impact. And guess what? All of you are a key component to that. So that's what we're going to talk about here today. Because rigid plans break, right? Flexible systems really do bend, and disruption is not an exception, it's your baseline. So, today I want to talk to you about really how to take ownership and start showing your leadership and your expertise on how you will help to fix that system first. And there's 8 domains. You don't have to remember them all. I can drop them in the chat that we're going to be talking through. Really, that digital transformation pain point, that trust by design. We know trust is a factor that's really a hurdle today for everyone. Operational agility and that tech adoption, really the fractional and on-demand talent trend that is creeping in. I shouldn't even say creeping in. It is slammed in for all of us, and it is the workforce change that we're all looking at right today. Ecosystem infrastructure, collaboration, and shared services, how that's becoming the new norm that's really advancing and giving businesses, and that's just not the nonprofit and government sector. We're talking corporations too. The true upper advantage of how that shared services and collaboration are giving them that edge, as well as investment and funding readiness. So I'm going to drop some questions of guide points for all of you to think about here today, but really it's an open conversation and dialogue about how your expertise is going to help to fix these systems across all these pain points I just discussed. But what I want to talk to you today, and really you talk to me, and I'm here to listen, engage, give advice, or any, key points to help you through your job search, your transition, your next phase for where you're going. But think about, how are you angling your expertise around top of mind pressures within business, nonprofit, and government sectors? How are your expertise really fixing those systems when looking at pain points of slowed tech and AI adoption, while the high costs are still there, but companies are really struggling with that? AI, they thought, was going to be the solution. It hasn't been as fast as what they thought. How are you the aspirin for executives and businesses continually that are having those blindsided mindsets of operation agility is not tech adoption. So, how do we get over that hurdle and make them realize that tech adoption isn't going to help them be agile? Also, how is your expertise helping to redesign past hiring trends? Maybe it's a skills first hiring or fractional and gig C suite hiring. How are you that solution? And how is your leadership the expertise to fix the system first and be the solution to alleviate maybe budget pressures that they're having? And lastly, before I open the floor here, how can your expertise really help to fix the system and align to talent, leadership, and AI innovation to really build together as a unit, not competitively against each other to build that ecosystem? So I'm going to drop these questions here in the comments for everyone. So you're going to see them down here. Hello, William. You came in. Nice to have you there. There's all the questions, but I want to open up the floor on how are you utilizing your leadership to really fix the system of pain points, and how are you their aspirin for the problem? So remember, the Q&A is open for everyone. So drop your questions in about today as far as how you're ready to integrate and to position yourself as the leader, as the solution for those pain points. And really, as you've heard JT talk about in the Work It Daily platform, show your visibility. I dropped the framing questions in there. So jump in. And if they're different, you can drop in your questions in there as well. I'm here to talk today about how we can really leverage you to fix the systems first, that mindset. There's also the ability to toggle over. If you want to ask something anonymously, you can do that as well. But this is a safe space for everyone. We are making no judgment, but you can drop your questions in anonymously. Maybe it is as simple as why you came here today and how you're looking to grow. While we're waiting on some questions to come in here. Oh, we have one here. So, why do you believe? We'll spotlight this one right here. Why do you believe fixing the system comes before investing in culture, technology, or leadership training in the future of work? I look at it this way. Think about a construction project or building a house. If you don't have a solid foundation and you just keep building onto it and layering on all these fancy options and, extra siding and great windows, guess what? If that foundation isn't solid, you're unable to have your baseline of having that be a sustainable, lasting, in this example, home. But in a business situation, if you don't have that foundation, you do not have the ability to have a sustainable, scalable process, business operational model that is able to last and pivot when those disruptions that are going to continually keep happening, to sustain those disruptions. So that's why I always say you fix the system first before really investing in culture, investing in technology and leadership and training. And before you even fix the system, you got to know what's broken. So you have to do an analysis and not just make assumptions. You have to dig deeper, ask the hard questions. Maybe sometimes they're not always the responses that you want to hear as a leader or a business owner, but those are responses that you need to hear to ensure your foundational base is solid before layering on new innovative operations, processes, ensuring your culture and trust are solid, and especially pivoting into the technology and AI workforce that we all do have. So, great question. Thank you for asking. And this question is from Michael. Michael says, I think the biggest symptom I bring the solution to a lack of engagement. Okay, so Michael, you think you bring a solution of engagement. And would you like to expand upon I'm rereading your question again. I think the biggest symptom I bring to the solution is lack of engagement. So you think lack of engagement is a problem. So you feel that you are the solution, you are the aspirin for that. Michael, drop in, if you don't mind, drop in some of the areas that you feel that you can add value in this, because engagement is a pivotal thing. If we are not harmoniously working, let's say departmentally, but organizationally wide across a business as a unit, something's going to fracture and break. So, again, this is a functionality that we all have to have good communication. We have to have the ability to understand what everyone is doing, as well as maybe have some of those disagreements too in our conversations, but realize to agree to disagree and have that harmonious engagement to move forward. So, yes, Michael, if you want to drop in any of your key areas where you think you're the solution, feel free to drop those in as well. So we're talking through these areas of fix the system first. And I'm going to come back. I'm going to pose the question out to everyone here. How are you angling your expertise around top of mind pressures? So think about what your expertise is. It might not just be industry focused, but it could be what is your expertise going to help them to revolutionize, get over a hurdle that they are involved in, that you can angle that and speak forward. William has a statement here. Let's spotlight. So William says, AI has just recently happened, at least in a way that it can be used effectively. You need to get people involved with AI in the ways that currently works, not where it will be. I can bring in AI in a way that will make sense to others. You're in software development. Oh, okay, great, William. So, one thing I'd like to ask you then, you're talking about getting everyone involved. How are you ensuring that everyone understands maybe new platforms that are rolled out, or has the skills and capabilities to utilize those new platforms, understand AI, understand the technology? So, how are you honestly being kind of a teacher in the way of getting that involvement to increase that engagement? I love that, William. I love that. So, you can hop in and you can drop in some more comments, but I love that one. All right, Michael came back and said, so here Michael is answering me when I asked the question. Thank you, Michael. So he said he can increase engagement, going back on his question, how he really feels like he can help to increase engagement and be that solution in the fix the system first. And he said he's going to be doing surveys and doing interviews and assessments. I love this, Michael, because you're getting to the root potentially of the problem that everyone is maybe either talking about or not talking about. It might be that silent problem that no one's talking about. So you're removing the assumption that leaders and executives and business owners might all have to really show what the true root problem is or true root ideas of innovation might be. So I love that. Love that, Michael, to do interviews, do surveys, do assessments to ensure everyone has a voice to increase that engagement. I love that. Thank you, Wilmy. You're coming back. There needs to be significant training. Yes. In AI adoption, everyone makes the assumption that people are tech savvy, right? That everyone has a rudimentary understanding of computer skill literacy. And unfortunately, and one thing I can tell you from my historical, I did a statewide evaluation, and our state government was under the assumption that the majority of our state constituents had a vast understanding of digital literacy. Why couldn't they get hired? Why wouldn't they be able to go in and use computers, use AI, use all these tools? And they were very shocked to find out that fundamental computer skills was the main barrier to employment. So, yes, and this is for all new hires. This is for all employees. You need to find out that baseline of, are the employees, are the team members even able to utilize the tools that you're looking to roll out and to implement for tech advancements and AI integrations. Yes, great, great feedback. All right, we have an anonymous one here. What suggestions would you have for some of us who aren't executives or upper management to utilize or improve systems? Great questions. So, when I say executives, I'm not saying that all employees, so that is my fault, my fault right there. So, all team members, we'll say it this way, all team members have the ability to have the voice, have the capabilities to spotlight and showcase your skills of how to fix the system first. You can always make recommendations, and how you want to pose them is not in a threatening manner. You might want to say, I've observed these situations that are, let's just use AI integration as the hurdle since we just were talking about that. I've recognized maybe some AI adoption hurdles that are going on amongst the team members. I'm seeing that some additional training on just some basic, advanced Excel worksheet formulas for some data comprehension could be of an advantage for the AI integration. So we know how to upload some data to have a baseline for our database. If you're into an AI system that's going to automate some recommendations to customers and things like that. So that's one example that you could go in and you can make those suggestions. So even if you're not an executive, you always have the ability to put forth your ideas, how to position yourself and position. Again, we're talking about visibility. Remember, JT talks about that all the time and work it daily. How are you visible and showing your expertise? So if you're quietly just doing your day-to-day job, you're not showing that you have the ability to step up and have some management leadership capabilities to integrate those ideas in. So great question. Thank you for bringing that up. And if I didn't answer your question, drop another comment in. Ah, Michael is talking about gap analysis also. Yes. Yes, Michael. Gap analysis is another thing that is fundamental when you're helping to fix the system first. So, engagement, you're back on engagement, but that is through any tech adoption, any operational problems. Yes, gap analysis as well. I'm reading through your questions here, everyone. Christopher, thank you for this question, says, I think there are two folks, two forks. Sorry, I'm reading. If I could read, see any of my readers on here. I think there are two forks to AI. Number one, develop your own solution. Number two, teach others to use what's already there. Number two is a quicker path to revenue for me. So yeah, so Christopher, you're talking two things. Absolutely. So while it's developing your own solution, I think you're still talking about your learning as well. So it's that continual learning that you need to do and add adoption. So then you're able to go in and help to fix the system first, to add your solution in. But then you're also able to convey a personal experience in addition to helping to teach and train others and utilize those adoption skills as well. So I think both. And like you said, number two is the quicker path to teach others, that self reflection and develop your own solution, though, too, is a great solution. So, absolutely, Christopher. William, the you need to have the people who you are bringing AI in to talk about what can be done. So, William, can you explain that a little more in depth in your comments? Are you talking about like let's say it's a different platform that you're bringing into the company? Are you saying like that outside contractor, bring in some of those individuals to spotlight and showcase how those tools are going to help? uh, Maybe a process or help with customer engagement or help to obtain some survey responses. Is that what you're meaning about come in to train your individual team members on the platform? I think that's what you're meaning. And yes, that is always a great advice to have a tutorial. So to ensure that you have that kind of framework set up. So that is the basis of your training, right? For all employees in any tech or AI adoption is to have the contractor come in that is you're going to be utilizing their tools to showcase how they're going to be used or the possible advantages of using those tools. Absolutely. I think that's what you're meaning, William. And if I'm incorrect, please correct me. Ah, William says you can't have management just say we're adopting AI. Yes, they need to understand what AI will do. So not only just understand what AI will do, they have to also understand, right, that AI is not a threat. Because I think a lot of times that's what the feeling is that this AI and tech adoption, and we're all seeing it. We're all seeing how AI and tech adoption is unfortunately there's some waves of employees being downsized due to AI and tech adoption, but there is actually some harmony there. AI and tech adoption is only as functions as well as what the team members then are they're integrating and operating with it. Roles need to be changed, not necessarily eliminated. And I think that's what needs to happen as well. But yes, employees cannot utilize the tech and AI adoption until they understand what it will do. But also, like I said, have that elimination of fear of that AI and tech adoption then as well. So all great comments so far, all great comments. So into kind of we're talking through AI and tech adoption because that is top of mind. That's what is happening right now. But let's walk into a little more and see if any of you have any expertise. And I know we have some software developers on here. I feel that we have some people in the HR space in this frame. I was looking at some of your bios and profiles, so correct me if I'm wrong, but jump in what all your solutions and focus of uh, your subject matter expertise is. But we all have a layer, regardless if you are an employee, if you're management, or if you're leadership. You all have some level of an expertise or an ability to help fix the system first, some budget pressures, or alleviate those budget pressures by suggesting some partnerships or creating some ecosystem, whether it's departmental or with some partnerships outside of that own business to help rather than purchase some of those tech adoptions. Let's just use that since we've been talking about it. Maybe partner rather than purchase those platforms. So, how is some of your expertise able to alleviate that budget pressure? That's a different question I want you to think about. All right. So, Christopher has another statement we're going to spotlight here. He says many execs just want to say that they adopted AI, but most don't have a goal. Most don't have a goal for what they will do with AI. Great point, Christopher. Absolutely. Because they're trying to stay with the trends. They're putting up on all their social media posts to show their competitive advantage. We've adopted all these platforms. We are using AI. We're using all this data. But like you said, they have no end goal. So I always recommend if you can find a way to have a voice or be an integral part in creating these rollouts of the digital transformation plans of what is that integration? How are those software systems and platforms being integrated in? What's the advantages? What gaps are they meeting? For the business operations, for the customer experience, for the internal team members. What advantages do they have? But also, you need to be able to say there's disadvantages too and have that comfort to say that. But here's one thing I will tell you always have a business case, kind of a study business case or background as to why things don't work. Remember, business owners, executives, they operate a lot on assumption, as we've been talking about sometimes too, because they are in strategy mindset. So they're forging forward on strategy mindset and they're missing some of the underlying facts and actual operational things that are happening. So yes, that's one thing. How can you help executives see the value or disadvantage of tech adoption? So, and be comfortable spotlighting those things, but bring a solution. You know what I mean? We know that you wanted to integrate this platform, but we're already utilizing this tool that we're only using about maybe 35% of the platform's capability, and it has all these other things. It's a less, we've already bought it, so it's less cost. It's potentially, The learning curve is reduced because we already have the platform. Team members are familiar with it. Now it's just showing those extra layers. So, yes, Christopher, I love that statement. So, that is one thing you can do as well by showing how what the value is as well. Thank you. Michelle. So Michelle says, if you review the internal procedures, there are often small wins that you can make to the process without cost. Love that statement. For so many years, my team did not have a budget for tech solutions. This led to the identification of process improvements internally, often reaching out to other departments or people to see what they are doing, utilizing software available, or just simply taking a step back and revisiting what no longer works. Wow, Michelle, yes, this is a perfect example of two things, actually, three things. So, kind of an analysis, you're doing a deep dive analysis, removing that assumption, but you're learning what actually is working, what's available, what operational improvements can happen internally, but also through a partnership. You're looking at your ecosystem. So, what is your shared service opportunity to fix the system? And lastly, that you're elevating that engagement piece, that engagement and which is trust, then, because you're reaching out and extending, I need some help, that communication as well. So, I absolutely love this statement, Michelle. And so, you have showcased three ways that you have historical knowledge of how to fix the system first and move that forward. Absolutely. Well, everyone, we are coming down to the end of our session. So drop in any last minute statements, questions with how to utilize your expertise and leadership and solutions, your workforce solutions and your talent to fix the system first. But for all of you, I am only a message away. All you have to do, you can find me on subs.com. It's in the links in my bio here on the Work It Daily profile platform. And if you want me to be an extra, toolbox, toolkits, add on to anything, any questions you might have, I'm only $8 message away from you if you join into a monthly subscription on subs, or message me and let's figure out how we can stay in touch and potentially work together. But I have enjoyed everyone's conversation pieces here today on Fix the System First. Like I said, how to elevate your expertise to showcase how you're the solution, you're the aspirin for some of these pain points. But that's the first thing I would tell you all to key into. Listen, pay attention, and ask the hard questions about those pain points. And then showcase your expertise, because you're never wrong. You might just be, you think just the bystander doing your work or looking to integrate into a team, but you have added value. So you want to increase that visibility. All right. So any other comments or questions here today? Otherwise, it has been a great session and I've enjoyed talking to all of you here today. Let me see. I'm going to scroll through, make sure I didn't miss any here. No, we got everything. Like I said, you've all had great comments. And so if you want to join, I am back on for another session here later in the week. And also forthcoming, there will be some other upcoming sessions as well. I've enjoyed talking to all of you. And remember, each and every one of you have those solutions to fix the system first, because those foundations are key and fundamental. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining me here today. Oh, Christopher has something. Christopher, hold on. Before we hop off, we got last minute. Thank you, Christopher. He says, I recently helped a client that was rewriting corporate policies. I uploaded their policy meeting notes into ChatGPT and prompted it to write a formal business policies. I returned the new policy in 15 minutes. It saved them several weeks of work in drafting the new policies. Yes, but also, Christopher, you save them money. Think about that. Think about that. Think about time is money, right? So if you did it in 15 minutes and you listened to all their pain points and you took all those pain points and you put it into the policy. And I'm sure you tweaked it with Chat GPT. You just didn't listen to the Chat GPT's final output. You probably tweaked it with your knowledge of what was going on. You added so much value to that. So that is a fabulous example of how to showcase your expertise and capabilities to fix the system first. Love that. Love that. Thank you, Chris, for coming in at the tail end. But that is a great way to end this session on how to infuse the human aspect and AI together to fix the system first. All right, everyone. Have a great day.